shots, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots, 5 shots, 2 shots, 4 shots.
Welcome back to the show.
Hello.
What's going on? What's going on out there, everybody? Welcome back to 4 Shots. Tony and Jeremy, and sometimes Zach, and sometimes not. And we are here to talk about anything and everything and drink 4 shots, except we never just drink 4 shots. We got some awesome stuff going on tonight. We got some pretty cool guests on tonight, don't you think, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be awesome.
No, it'll be awesome.
Well, we're gonna have those guys come on here in a little bit from Arizona Wilderness. What's their names, Jeremy? Patrick and Jonathan, right? From Arizona Wilderness.
Jonathan. Yeah, I know Jonathan Buford will be with us. I'm not sure if Patrick will be or will not, but we'll find out. But either way, these guys are super close. We'll give their introduction when we're
when we get there. For those of you who are just joining us on the show for the first time, we like to start off here by doing our first shot. Guys, you're gonna raise them up.
Oh,
what are you doing? Announce it.
So I have got a new Irish whiskey that I decided to try called Craven, and it looks really good. It's Irish whiskey. I mean, like, come on.
Can't go wrong, Tony.
There's going to be notes of barley and malt in this. 6-row malt, to be exact.
Notes of Austin sweaty balls in mine.
Actually, no barley.
I'm joining you on the Irish whiskey front. I'm going to do some Jameson. Oh, yeah.
Not bad.
Always like me some Jameson. A little tingly. Well, now since that's our first shot, I already screwed up. I have something new for you guys on the show tonight and for our audience. I already fucked it up. I'm supposed to play it first, but here it is. I'm going to try not to.
We could do another shot.
No, because then we'll already be on number 2. We can't.
That's fine.
It's not good. All right, here we go.
Shot number 1.
That's my voice, by the way, just heavily distorted.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
Shot 1.
Shot number 1. I tried to do my best, like EA Sports. It's in the game. Oh, wait, I've got a knock at the door. Yes? No, be gone. Hey, no, it's not. No, you can't. No, get.
Jeremy, what are you smoking?
I am smoking a PG Symphony.
Oh, you always talk about. We never get those over here,
dude. So this
way out here.
This is a box I purchased a couple years back, and it unintentionally got aged because you know how it is. Stuff just sits in when you have like a ton of cigars to smoke. And so I cracked this box, and I've been smoking through them for the past week, and they are awesome. It was good. It was a fantastic cigar to begin with, but man, I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
Those are made at Davidoff, right?
Yeah.
What do you?
It's funny though because I'll put this up against the Millennium Blend.
This was made at Davidoff too, but I can't tell you what it is.
Oh, another week we were smoking secret samples.
That's what I'm smoking today. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you later what it is, but I can't tell you right now. Or
you
what
have
it
to
might
kill
be.
you. He'd have to kill you, cat.
Maybe
that reminds me
in that post show.
That kind of reminds me of my fresh shit.
Well, let's get right into it then.
Well, before
Brandon, you gotta make some like with the shot 1 and shot 2 thing. You gotta make like a
one for
fresh shit.
right. I will
Just a cartoon of a poop dropping.
I was thinking I could get that shot from Jurassic Park with the giant dinosaur shit.
That's one big pile of shit.
Right. Well, before we do fresh shit, real quick, because I'm going to let you guys get into it, but I wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping. We have never once announced that we do have an email address for the show. And it may seem like a little thing, but I'm going to put it up there real quick. It's 4shotshow@gmail.com because we want to open it up to everybody who listens to the show, whether you listen to it on the rebroadcast on the podcast networks, or if you're listening live. And you are not like a live commenter, or you think of something the next day, shoot us an email.
Or if you want to be a guest, also shoot us.
Or if you have an idea for a guest, like your grandma or your Uncle Joe, we'll bring him on. We don't give a fuck.
It'd be cool to interview Uncle Joe.
I love how Grandpa Joe and Willy Wonka like spends his 50 years of his life never working or helping his family, and then all of a sudden he gets up to go to a chocolate factory. Like they're like living in squalor because Grandpa Joe doesn't get up and go to work. But then Charlie gets a golden ticket, and all of a sudden this guy can walk.
I love that the only money they have that he spends it on is tobacco.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Charlie gives him the money that he made, the leftover, and he's like, Grandpa Joe, I'm going to buy your tobacco from now. And he's like, no, Charlie, I can't let you. And he's like, no, Grandpa Joe, you have the tobacco. And he takes it.
I have no memory of that.
Neither do I. I don't know.
I just watched it recently and it hit me for the first time. I was like, that's hilarious. Charlie gives his work money to buy a loaf of bread and Grandpa Joe's tobacco.
Well, on that note, since we did a little bit of housekeeping, I just wanted to put that out there for the email address and everything. People who listen to the stream we've had some pretty cool things happen with the podcast. Real quick, I want to let you guys know we have had 5 downloads in Romania.
Wow.
Romania. Somebody in Romania. If you're the person in Romania, okay,
please get a hold of us.
If you're listening to the show, you've downloaded 5 times, email us at 4shotshow@gmail.com and let us know what the fuck are you listening to? What drew you in? How did we snag you?
And please be a guest.
Yeah,
yes.
Come on.
Yes.
That would be so badass.
Yes.
All right. Now let's do it. Fresh shit. Take your fresh shit.
Jeremy.
All right. So mine is a little bit of a unique thing. Last night I had a bloodbath of a war between rats. So I have a rabbit hutch outside and I changed his food this past week. And I found out that the roof rats really like his food.
What are roof rats?
Yeah, what's this?
They're rats, but they run along the roof line, and I mean they're rats.
Okay.
So they're no different than a normal rat.
No,
in the roof. Okay.
Yeah. So they've been coming down, and I saw them. So I was like, I set this like goo trap, right? Like it's like sticky paper, and I put it down, and within like 5 minutes, I caught one, right? And then I was like, oh, I got to go put him out of his misery because like you feel bad for the dude. Yeah, I'm in the clouds. You like that? So I took him out, and the only thing I could find was a bat. So I took him out with a bat, and then why didn't you just let him go?
Why?
Because he was stuck to it, and it's inhumane to leave him there like
screaming. Oh, you can't get him off? Like I don't know. Like we don't have roof rats.
They can't. Dude, they'll gnaw their legs off to get off of it, and it's just gross. So you gotta like
J-Rod.
You gotta put them out of their misery. So as soon as I killed him, cleaned him up, sanitized the bat, I had a second. I had put another trap, and like 2 minutes later, another bigger rat was on that. So then I had to club that one, and I felt very gross inside because I had to put these guys out of their. So I'm not setting any more traps because I went to bed feeling really gross about myself because I murdered 2 rats, but I definitely murdered them. Like, I mean, when you take a bat, it only goes one way.
A bat to a rat on a mat.
Yeah.
What is a bat? Was it a fat rat you hit
It
with
was
a
a
bat?
fat rat, not on a mat, but his name was Pat, and he likes to eat cats, and he likes to.
This is the kind of content. This is the
Oh,
kind of
God.
content that our Romanian fans can really enjoy.
Yeah. So that was. I had, I think, something else more exciting, but that happened. That was so relevant because it happened late last night, and I was like I felt like that guy in the movie with Brad Pitt, the Tarantino movie, the Jew Bear, where he comes out with the bat, and
Yeah.
I felt like that guy last night as I was killing rats.
The bear Jew, a
Yes.
Jew,
Wait.
a Jew bear would be a different thing.
So my friend, our mutual friend Jared, that's funny. So everybody, we got hot Mike saying we should stream on Patreon and pay-per-view rat hunts with Jeremy. Well, Jared Saunders, our good friend from McAuliffe, called me yesterday and said that we should start running our cigar events on I just had the site in my head and now it's gone. OnlyFans. We should do OnlyFans events.
Oh fuck! Get our own OnlyFans.
Yeah. I think I think that Caldwell LaBarba would do amazing OnlyFans events.
Nope, you didn't pay. No freebies for you.
No.
So my fresh shit. So last week we talked about, I put that offer on that house. Well, since at the end of the show I was really drunk, and I almost forgot in the morning. I forgot actually what I paid for the house in the morning. I had to call my realtor and go and ask her like how much, because I had like an extension clause on it to go up to a certain amount of money, and she called me at like 9:30 and said that they took the offer on the house, and then I got blackout drunk and fell asleep and woke up the next morning and I was like, shit, I got a house. And then I had to text her and I'm like, how much was it?
How much did I pay?
How much did I just get into this for?
It was like eBay, and you set your maximum at like 2 million, because you were like, oh, it'll never go that high. And then you paid 1.9.
Well, yeah, and I woke up and I could have paid 1 point I bought so that'll be a good memory. I bought a house off like after the show, blackout drunk. So that happened.
Yeah.
I have the inspection tomorrow and the appraisal at the end of the week. So we'll see what happens. So that is fresh shit number 1. And fresh shit number 2 is it's my birthday this weekend.
Yeah,
I turned 36 years old.
Big boss. What do you get a man who has everything?
Yay!
A house. he gets a home.
Stilts.
Yeah. The short jokes never
fucker.
end. A little addendum to Tony's story, though, was that classically in the after show, Tony, we were in the post show lounge, and Tony tells us, "I got the house for sure. I got it." We were like, "Oh, congratulations, Tony! Congratulations!" And then I got out of the broadcast studio, and then 5 minutes later, my phone rings and it's Tony. And he's like, "Hey, buddy, I got the house." And I was like, "I know you just told me in the post show."
That's why 2 hours and 12 shots is not good for Tony. But I drank a super smoothie thing today, and then I had a power bowl. So I have a lot of fruits and vegetables in my system today. So I think I'll be all right.
Good.
We need to find our guests.
Yeah, they're not in the lobby yet, so I will. Jeremy, if you want to reach out to them, see if they are getting on here.
Oh, serious?
Well, I don't know because they're not in the lobby, and we're about to finish our fresh shit segment. So
let's do a shot in the meantime.
Before we do that, I want to. Last week in the show.
Oh yeah, you need your fresh shit too.
Yeah. Well, last week I mentioned this philosopher when I was talking to Charlie, Slavoj Zizek, as he pronounced it. And I just finished this book this week. I've been reading this book since January. It's called Sex and the Failed Absolute. Jeremy, you would love it. And it's 458 pages, and it took me 8 months to read it. But I finally finished it on Monday. And now I don't want to read anything for the rest of the year. I feel like I spent all of my reading brain knowledge on this one thing. It was like the densest book I ever read, but not uninteresting. but definitely too boring to really talk about on this show.
Did you put up this comment from Hot Mike? I like Jeb gets drunk, murders rats. Tony gets drunk, buys houses, which I'm assuming will be for a rat murder house for Jeb. Good team. That's one of the best comments I've ever seen on the show, ever. So thank you, Hot Mike, for that.
So I had emailed it or sent it to him, but it didn't look like it went through. So I just sent it again, but hopefully they get on super quick.
Well, maybe we can pull Zach in here for a
He's
quick
not even
minute.
in the waiting room.
Zach,
No.
where the
Hang
fuck?
out with us.
Zach, God damn it. Zach, what?
They left
Get
us
in.
all alone.
There he
Oh,
is.
shit. Oh, hey.
So Jeremy, why don't you introduce?
Yeah, give us an
Okay.
introduction.
Welcome, my good friends, Jonathan Buford, founder, owner of Arizona Wilderness Brewing. We go back a long way, like last week. No, we've known each other, and this guy's an entrepreneur, a good friend, a musician, a little of everything, photographer. Welcome, Jonathan.
Welcome.
I'm thrilled to be with you guys. Thank you for the photographer part, because I'm standing at 9,500 feet, and I'm going to include you guys in a photography session. I hope my audio is good.
Yeah, you're
We
good.
can hear you.
Yes. Dude, technology is stupid. Like, I'm standing miles above the earth, and I'm having a conference call with you guys.
Dude, I had sent it to you, I thought, but then I didn't. And then they said resend it. So hopefully,
Yeah. I was
sorry
being a
about
good
that.
little boy and waiting. And I checked to see if I could get service up here, and I was like, that's a perfect spot. By the way, we can't forget the greatest dog that's ever walked this earth. Daisy is with me.
Oh, look at that little pooch.
She's 14 and a half. She helped me start the brewery. She's been on most of my wilderness adventures. And then the great Pat Ware is with us.
Woo!
I got a peak to get up,
Yeah.
boys.
Because of the wind, we're going to just keep it to me so I can bless you guys with better audio. We're going to do speaker, but it's 30-mile-per-hour gusts. So if this is cool by you, I will gladly join this amazing show.
Yeah, and
Light up
we
that cigar, baby.
Oh,
need
and I
to-
got a cigar for the top, so I can't
Nice.
wait for that.
well, we need to do. I know you're hiking, but Tony and I need to do a shot to welcome you onto the show.
And I really feel like a degenerate. I'm sitting in my mom's basement drinking, and you're at 9,000 feet.
All right,
Hey,
so
I've only burned like 3,800 calories today. No biggie.
well, this is to. Hey, is Brandon gonna put his little shot thing up?
Shot number 2.
That was incredible. I want to make one of those videos with you guys.
Oh, I think they're all taken from former footage, and I know from our Dominican trip that we have more than enough
Yes.
footage to ever. So,
Oh
welcome.
man, we jumped off a 60-foot cliff with all sorts of body fat splashing around. That's a perfect one.
Mhm.
I'm super bummed I missed that trip. I was supposed to be on it, but I had to come back to it.
So boring. Didn't get kicked out of the house or anything. Such
No.
a boring trip.
It was so boring, so monotonous.
I've heard so much about this trip.
So that's I don't know if I do want to bring up that trip because I find it so incredibly it was our first time to get to know each other, and I don't want to derail into just
Yep.
stories because I think there's a lot more valuable things to talk about than our debauchery. But I will say from beginning to end, I came out, I had met them before once, maybe twice. No, we had done a couple times. We had gotten to know each other a little bit, but we had talked about doing something together and then wanting to do a collaboration. And then Jonathan got picked up from his friends over at Brewdog. They ended up picking him up for a TV show that they were piloting for a new network. And Jonathan, step in and correct me anytime if I say something off.
You got it right. You got it right. Yeah, they essentially godfathered a network so they could have their, if anyone remembers Brew Dogs, the television show on like Spike TV, they godfathered a network, meaning they kind of said, hey, we make too much money. Let's get a production company and they can select talent. And everyone had us on a board, which is an honor, to say, hey, those guys would be perfect for a show.
Oh, look,
And they gave us that call.
Those are the episode. They've got Drink TV up.
Oh, shit. Yeah. There you go. The World Wide Web, man. And it was so cool because at first it was like, do you guys know where you'd want to go? And, DR was on the list because I think you and I jammed in the basement a couple times at that point, just playing guitar. And you had always said, we got to go to the DR. And it worked out, man. You really set it up.
Yeah, it was. So basically, in a nutshell, I meet up the night before in Arizona. Then we leave to get on the same flight to the DR. When we get to Miami to the DR, that's what, an hour and a half, 2 hour flight. I can't, Tony.
It's 2.5, but you lose.
Why wouldn't you? How
Right.
could you possibly remember that flight, Jeremy?
Right.
I mean,
No.
we were blacked out for half of it.
Yeah. So this guy sitting next to Jonathan and I he hears us talking about that we're going there to film a TV show, and he breaks out his duty-free bottle of Johnny Walker. And he's like, would you like it? And I think his motive, one, he was nice, but I think he was also trying to like get on the show. But Jonathan and I proceeded to drink his entire bottle of Johnny Walker in that flight. So by the time we landed in the Dominican, I was already blacked out. And that is the beginning. It started at this peak, and the whole entire time took this downward like a roller coaster and then up. But it was the best trip I ever had in the Dominican because it was the first time we got to see the Dominican in that way. Like we explored the Dominican Republic. Like instead of just going to the factories, like we went into the jungle. We went everywhere.
I like that I know no better, Jeremy. Like I wouldn't know the other way.
Yeah.
Like I've heard people say, oh, Punta Cana is so nice. And I'm like, have you been to Costanza?
Right.
They're like, where?
Yeah. And we met some amazing people. So we filmed an episode, and then what happened is Jonathan and his partner Patrick brewed a beer.
My sexy
honor.
partner.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
They made a beer in honor of the trip, using Mamajuana, which is a local beverage in the DR.
Well,
and
Jeremy, give a quick background on like the show was essentially let's get inspiration from a place to brew a beer. And a far off place has maybe exotic flair to it. One episode was Faroe Islands, one was Japan, one was Jordan. And we just couldn't, we were like stopping at roadside, it's in the episode, roadside food stands and finding like little tidbits, but we really we don't pre-script that show at all. And you know this by now, Jeremy, no one knows shit about anything in that show. It's wake up and go throw an arrow at a dartboard and that's where we're headed. So we get to, I don't remember what it was, but I think we got to the waterfall, right? And Henderson, the son of William Ventura, who rolls a lot of my favorite cigars and now has his own line. Henderson pulls out a secret little bottle. And I remember him saying like, this is Dominican Viagra. We're with 6 men. We're 6 men and we're getting Dominican Viagra injected into us. But truly,
we were getting naked.
It worked. It worked. But truly, I did get that moment of what good quality food, beverage, and smoke can give you. As I can remember that moment, Jeremy. I can still remember the smell of the jungle. It's funny how nostalgia works, where you get a moment where you're like, wow, Mamajuana is special. It really does have a oaky, woodsy character. And we knew right then that's the beer we made, and we ended up making Curado, which is intended to be smoked. You walked us through that. So if you haven't seen it out there, Jeremy crushes it. He gives us a backyard cigar and rum pairings. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so that trip was an amazing thing, and then we came back to the States. We made a cigar to pair with it, and we did a co-event together. And so that's kind of like our relationship together, aside from the fact that we're just good friends. But so what?
And
why don't
amazing
you
guitar
tell
players,
us-
dude. We're some of the best guitar players.
Jeremy, you're cutting out a little bit.
All
There you go. You're back. You're back.
right. What I was going to say is,
I'm
can
gonna
you
get
give us
service.
some-
I'm gonna get service. Yeah.
all right. Can you hear me, Jonathan?
Yes, I
Uh-oh.
can hear you. I'm gonna come around a bend too and get better service if I drop you.
What we're hoping to hear is some of the backstory of Arizona Wilderness. I don't know if you are hearing me. Hey, should we do what we do with Zach?
Yeah. Let's do a shot. I, for some reason, want to do shots tonight. I don't know why. You want to do a shot? While he's
Okay.
coming back.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
we
he's going
can,
Were you
around the
dropped
bend.
or was it just
Sure,
me?
you're back.
Awesome.
All right. So, Jonathan, what
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
curious to find out is kind of the backstory, the man before Arizona Wilderness, like what led you there? Because we're kind of talking
Yeah.
about entrepreneurship and you have not only started a business, but you've taken it to the next level with, being farm to table and local, like harvesting local ingredients and all that. And we were kind of hoping you would share some of that with us. Why?
Hell
and
yeah.
How it happened.
I'd love to, man. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate. How's my audio, by the way? Am I good here?
You're perfect.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay, I'll stop here for this one because it's a great question and I love answering it. But I don't know if you know who David Goggins is. He's a Marine who, long story short, has a book called Can't Kill Me, and or Can't Stop Me or whatever. I'm kind of fading in and out of consciousness up here. It's awesome. But he uses the term knuckle dragger a lot. In other words, people who do it the hard way. And I think with my business career, I'm definitely a knuckle dragger. I don't just, did I lose you guys again?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I don't think that we would ever write a book on here's how we did it. You should do it too. But I will say we did put our head down and did something special in the last 7 years. By the way, this is our 7-year anniversary. That's one of the reasons we wanted to hike. Thank you. And before this, I did have a window cleaning business, and I started that in my garage. And that was, again, kind of just me doing my thing, had a couple person crew. And it was fueling my photography career, and I was broke a lot. So I realized I did enjoy the business side of it, but I really love storytelling. That's my big push, is storytelling. And I approached Patrick, and luckily I found a world who had brewing skills. I was a home brewer, and my whole thing was, hey, I'm from the Midwest. I want to put Arizona on a different level instead of like a bunch of retirees moving here, God's waiting room kind of thing. I really wanted to be what you're looking at here. That's Arizona. This landscape and diversity and just everything about its grandeur is worthy of telling the story. And so as I started talking a lot about the story, I realized, brewing is hard. Brewing is, logical engineer minds. And maybe I'm not that. So I approached this charming young fellow named Pat. The main reason I approached him is because women thought I looked like him, and they wondered where I was last night. And I'm married, happily married. And I was with my wife on one occasion. I got in trouble, and I was like, I got to meet this Patrick guy because he's getting some ladies, and they're coming up to me, and I'm like, I got to meet him. So he had told me when I met him, hey, I've heard about you too. You're the guy doing Kickstarter, which I was doing at the
Whoa.
Did we
Nope.
lose him? We let's pull him back for a second until he's totally froze.
Well, I think we killed another guest.
Well, he's on a mountain, so it wouldn't surprise me. I've never heard
Tony-
anybody.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
Shot number 3.
Brandon, so
I don't even know
people-
how you had that. Where did that even come from?
Brandon didn't share any of this with us. So this is all first time, and I'm loving that this is. So cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
It's amazing.
Tony, that shot of you. Let's just look at it again.
Shot number 3.
That's when I started to get a belly. That was a while ago.
That was in 2014 when we were shooting Vice Picks, our short-lived.
Oh,
Well, not short-lived. We did it over 3 years, but we only did like 12 episodes.
Yeah, that's when, as you guys called it last week, La Barba was a micro penis of a brand.
That is not what we said.
I'm like, I don't know. You didn't remember you bought a house, but you remember micro penis of a brand.
Oh, you guys brought it up. I wouldn't have unless you brought it up on our pre-show show.
I think we
call.
called it a micro boutique. I think that's the
micro
word. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
micro penis. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. That's what I remember anyway. So
Well,
anyway, we can kind of, while he's around, we can kind of talk about entrepreneurship, I guess, and then and get back to him when he comes back. Yeah.
Well, can I comment to you two guys? It's first of all, it's fucking crazy. People get obsessed about like authenticness, like people being like very authentic, but the dude is fucking climbing a mountain
Yeah.
and
No.
talking about his brand and talking about starting here.
Horrible choice for a podcast.
Terrible.
Like for reception.
Absolutely horrible.
But amazing because it is those guys. Those guys are out in the wilderness a couple nights a week. They camp. Like if you follow them on Instagram, like they eat, sleep, and breathe Arizona, like every aspect of it. So, that's one of the reasons I really like them is because you talk like they're an authentic. They're like they are who they are. They are not. They like, hey, let's use Arizona as our gimmick to help sell this. It's just they're in love with Arizona, and that takes a special person.
Well, you have to. I mean, I think that when we talk about entrepreneurship, I think that we can't discount ever authenticity. And I think that that's like if you're going to be an entrepreneur in whatever you do, whether it be like Brandon and editing poetry and writing poetry.
Why do you always got to bring that shit up when he was trying?
Called me a micro penis, so we'll just go with it, okay? No, but I'm serious. Like I think that you've entrepreneured yourself, in without even really knowing it. Like you didn't set out to be like a published poet, right? You just wrote poems and got this group together, and now you do all this poetry stuff. And the same with us, with our brands. We have never lost our authenticity. And I think that it's very important when you're trying to start a business or you want to start a business is to have that clear kind of vision, and we had our guys, Brandon, I don't know if you noticed, we have our meeting every week with our salespeople, and surprisingly enough, Robert is very motivational at times. Yeah,
He's motivational.
He
I
is.
mean, behind closed doors, he's like this amazing person, but like with open doors, he's a dick. But
Tony Robbins in the sack,
yeah,
and Joe Pesci in the public.
correct. But he had, and I had never read the books, surprisingly enough, but he sent everybody the Apple experience. And Jeremy, you could touch on this a little bit more. But in the beginning of Caldwell, he sent the book to Jeremy to read, and I just finished it last night. And that's one of Apple's like kind of core things, and that's what made them so popular and so good is their authenticity. And they all the people they employ at Apple kind of adhere to that. Like when they go to hire somebody at Apple, it doesn't matter if you're a programmer or you could pull the computer apart and put it back together 20 times. they don't hire you for that. They hire you for your authenticity. And I think that that's a very important touch point on entrepreneurship. Jeremy, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that it's kind of a bummer because, you know, Jonathan cut out, but like the authenticity, like everything goes to experiences, right? Like you go to a high-end restaurant for the ambiance as well as the food, for the experience, for the service that you're going to receive. You know, with things we purchase that are high-end, it's typically like you go in and there's an experience attached to that sell, you know, and cigars are very much that way because they're a luxury. They're an affordable luxury, but they're still nonetheless a luxury because no one needs a cigar. And, you know, when you talk about brands and businesses, first and foremost, it's the authenticity, which then creates, or I should say, gives pathway to the experience, you know, and the purchasing of the cigar or the smoking of it, or a whiskey, whatever it might be, you know, and that's been our business, and that is most definitely Jonathan and Patrick's business. You know, it is like, first, they're authentic, they're who they are. You'll find them at the brewery hanging out, having a drink. They've opened up new locations, like it's grown. Some of the stuff like he might fill in, but they're part of it. It's an extension of those guys, you know, and people want to support that and be a part of it. You know,
one of the questions I really want to ask them, and I don't know if we're going to get them back on, but I really hope if he does come back on, I would love if you guys would ask him about, you know, the craft beer market is like incredibly saturated. Like everybody knows, you know, 15 craft breweries within 15 miles of their house, you know, in certain parts of the country. And what I was really interested in talking to them about is like, with that kind of risk, looking at like how saturated the market is, like how do you take steps into that? I mean, Tony, you decided to launch La Barba. I mean, obviously you had some
Micro penis.
you had some entrepreneurial risk that you were looking at, but it you know, it was probably a lot different on scale than like the craft beer market, which is just incredibly saturated.
Well, and not only that, I mean, your startup cost for a craft brewery, you know, I've looked into it. I mean, it can be between $500,000 and $1 million. I mean, that's a big, huge investment. I mean, I started La Barba with literally I cashed in like a Gerber life insurance policy. It was $5,000.
Cashed in your baby gram.
I did, and I started La Barba. So my risk wasn't really that great, you know, compared to. But that is why we've been so slow on growth. You know, I took 5,000, I turned it into 10, and then I reinvested the 5 profit back into the business, right? And I think that there's, you know, you can balance business that way, like how you get started and what you know what it takes to actually start it. You know, you can start with $1 million, you can start with $5 million, but that doesn't get you where you need to be necessarily as money, you know. And I think for us, you know, as a small micro penis brand, it's taken 8 years for us to get where we are. But I was never afraid. The on the risk end for me is when Jeremy and Rob and Hernando decided to take me on, because I grew to a plateau where I couldn't do it anymore by myself.
Yeah.
And I sat down with these guys and that was another question that, you know, the three of us talked about on our pre-show is kind of where you plateau and start to look for other people to invest into you and your brand. But I think at the end of it all, you kind of go with sort of what happens. You know, you just take the best of every opportunity and hope that you're not homeless next week. And I think, and that's how we still run the brands now. You know, it's like we are all working so hard, and that's where our risk is now. You know, our risk is what's going to happen next week. We have FDA, we have coronavirus, we have the state of California that sucks a bag of dicks. And it's like, so we have all these obstacles in front of us, and it's all about our tenacity, but I think it's all about our authenticity and our passion on what we do and how we love to do it. So it's kind of okay, you know.
Tony,
And the cigar,
this question is for you, Tony. Joe wants to know this. For an outsider, would you say the cigar business is worth getting into?
No.
no,
Just kidding. No, Joe. Joe, you know, I'll say something and then you say it.
Yeah,
Depends on what you want to do. But I mean, because honestly, it's not a dying industry, but it is a tough business because of all the regulation. And I would say it depends on what state you want to go into, all the regulation, the taxes, all that. That all being said, I would say no at a glance. But I would say more so if you do something you love doing, then the money will come to it. So if you're doing it to get rich, no. And I really would stand behind that. If you want to get into this business because you just love it and you have to do it, then do it, man. And make the best you can out of it. But just don't have grand illusions that it's going to be $1 million, business. Because if you're doing retail or if you're doing manufacturing, those are very two different things. Right. Or if you're trying to rep, that's a very different thing. So it really depends on what you want to do. But I mean, I wouldn't recommend necessarily getting into the rep game at this point. But I mean, people always need a place to sit and smoke and enjoy. And look, that's never going away. Taxes could go through the roof. They have been in New York, in Wisconsin. I mean, not in Minneapolis. Oh, what is it? Was it Wisconsin? No, it wasn't Wisconsin. Whatever. Sorry, my tax states are off. But do what you love doing, man. I mean, if you just want a moderate living and you want to enjoy it, then why not? Join a board. We'll do what we could.
Tony, you told me a story about one of the last events I don't know, maybe it wasn't the most recent one, but you met a guy on a bus event who said that he was starting a new brand or he was wanting to get into a new brand and
I was on a bus.
It was like a bus. You said maybe it was like a bus. It was but it's parked in the back of the store alongside. I'm trying to remember this fucking story you told me. I'm trying to fill the time because we lost our guest, Tony. That's what the truth is. But you told me a story. He was going into business with somebody that we had gone down to the DR with when you blended purple, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going and we're starting a new line," and you were like, "Good luck, buddy." Good. What was the context of that story?
Well, I remember the story now, and I'm not going to mention any brands or.
Well, I didn't. You notice I did also not name any of those people, but I just.
We have?
Oh, we do. I only made 4 for tonight, but I'll make more.
You can play more.
Shot number 4.
It's Gino. It's Papa.
And Robbie, I got Gino and Robbie.
Oh yeah, whatever. Who cares? That's Tony's dad, and then Robert Caldwell.
Right.
That's when he had long hair and a beard. It was weird. Anyway, so I mean, to answer Joe, I think that here's my situation. When I started La Barba, I was 27 and single. And I'm 36 now and still single. So
and a homeowner.
Apparently. But my point is that I have the time because I don't have a family. So my brands, I know it's sad.
The way you said that was the darkest shit.
It's the saddest shit ever, right?
Yeah, because I have a family.
Correct.
So fuck you.
Yeah. So it all depends on if you want a family or a cigar brand, because you can have one or the other, I guess, but you can't have both. No, I mean, but seriously, I've gone through tens of thousands of relationships. No, I've gone through a large number of relationships that have been ruined by cigars. So it all depends on your tenacity and you're willing to do. It's something that, when Jeremy and I first met, Jeremy was kind of like, who the fuck is this kid? He thinks he can start a brand. And that's what the cigar business is. It's not It's not like you can just start a thing and be successful, because you not only do you have to kind of kiss the ring of the cigar mafia, but you have to prove, and Jeremy can touch on this, but you have to prove, you have to prove that you're willing to put the work in. Because I can't expect the people that sell my cigars for me, or that go out and do that, beat the streets. I can't expect them to do if I can't do it myself. And Jeremy him and I had a heart to heart, and he said, like, look, if you really want, we were at Rob's, I think, on the patio.
Yeah.
And he said, look, man, if you really want this to work, you have to get out there, and you have to do these fucking grueling, 8-day trips in the car, 6 hours a day, beating the street kind of trips to build your brand. From a retail side, it's a little bit different, but at the same time, on a retail side, you have to be there every day, and your brand is an extension of you. And if nobody can trust you, and if nobody can count on you, then you're never going to make it. And that's a very small aspect of, brand building and entrepreneurship. But I took that to heart. And as soon as we decided what we were going to do, I was on the road, and then Jeremy and I developed our relationship, and now I think he's more confident 8 years later with me in the brand than he was then, and I think that's how you kind of grow a micro penis.
Yeah. Well, I think that, to expound on that, I think it's the same kind of mindset like a lot of musicians have, right? If I write this song, it's the best damn song you ever heard in your life. I'm waiting for some A&R guy to be standing there in the venue that I'm playing, and he's just going to be like, I have to sign you. Here's $4 million. That doesn't happen. Like that just doesn't happen. And the same is true, I think, in any business you start.
We should bring Joe on to ask these questions. Joe, do you want to come on? Go ahead, Jeremy.
Let's Zach, reach out to Joe and
let me and should I text or Jonathan again, or just like
yeah, I mean we're at 50 minutes, so if he wants to come on post show or something, maybe.
Okay. Well, so the thing is
cool.
The thing is that it's like no business just happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I remember that conversation with Tony, because I had done I gave up, 3 years, it took a toll on every aspect of my life and stuff, but that's what it took to get Caldwell off the ground. And it's not that I single-handedly did it, but it required that. And, I had that conversation with Tony, like, hey man, you've been doing it and it's been cool and it's been like a local brand. But if you want to take this to the next level, like, how much blood are you willing to put into it? Because there are a lot of manufacturers. I'm not going to call them manufacturers, but they are like brands that just like, oh, I'm going to ride the coattails of this, or I'm going to get big because this, or they should just want me because of this. And the reality is like, we're in a day and age where people can they can research, and they do. It's the day of information, right? So people want to know who's behind the things they consume. And, it's not like a celebrity or a character, that like a lot of people perceive these manufacturers to be. They're guys that work really hard. And in some ways, the uphill battle is even stronger for some of us micro or smaller boutique brands, because we don't have a history. We don't have the legacy, that like, we're not from Cuba. We're not this. So it's like, why the fuck should I listen to this dude with the beard about cigars? And it's, they got to get to know you. They have to, and you got to have a product. I had a rep I was with once who said, if you make a good cigar, you don't have a shot, or a mediocre cigar, you don't have a shot in this industry. If you make a very good cigar, you have a slim to none chance of making it. If you make a great cigar and you treat people right, he's like, you got a shot, and that stuck with me as Caldwell has gone on, because it's been like, we have to conduct good business first of all. You know, the product will speak for itself. That's like the back end. But if we like treat people right and we try to do our best to be who we are and honest and not shysters and things like that, like hopefully it'll resonate with people and they'll just want to support us. And I think that that's actually true of our brands as well as some other brands out there, is that they might have cool factor, they might have flair, but really I think it is that it's our friends who support us. You know, like they support us because we're friends.
Well, I think it's like-mindedness, you know. I mean, we tend to, you know, sort of get a little cliquey in the cigar business, right? But at the end of the day, like we align ourselves with people that are like-minded. You know, we've had Brian from Illusione on, and
Crash
we
his
love
plane.
those guys. You know,
Yeah.
and they crashed his plane, and we've had Nick on, and all of our guests that we've had on are very like-minded. You know, that's why they're like, yeah, dude, we'll do this stupid fucking show you guys are doing. We'll do it on Tuesday. I don't care. I mean, that's what we, you know, but that's what we strive for, though. I mean, and that's what we build, right? And I think that that's a testament to how well we've done, even though we're still fucking broke. I think that it's a testament as to how to build, you know, a brand, or, you know, build something with some integrity, even though it might be a micro penis.
Right. Well, I want to bring Zach on here and see if his microphone is working. And John has the link. We're waiting on him to show up in the
Joe, I believe. Yeah.
Joe has. I was looking at John Himes' comment while
Yeah,
I said
I don't want to have him on here.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not allowed to be on the show.
Joe has the link. Sharmer should be coming on in a second. We'll bring Zach on here, I think, see if his microphone is working. But before we attempt that, I guess the last thing that I want to say to you, Tony, is that like as your friend and like a regular at Havana House and like seeing you in and out of the door over the last like year and a half, you put so many miles in the air, on the ground, and at the end of it, you looked beat up. Like you looked like you had been through a hell of a ringer. And at the end of it, I know just from our conversations, like it didn't result in you having hundreds of thousands of dollars to match those tens of thousands of miles. But would you say that all of that traveling and all of that time spent out there resulted in an equitable relationships that you built, the face-to-face? I mean, do you think that was worth it?
Absolutely, man. I mean, I wouldn't have traded those, you know, the past 5 years for anything. I think it's worth it.
The love that you and I have for each other, Tony,
It's priceless.
is worth all the shit I've gone through. That's an authentic statement to my friend, by the way. I'm saying it jokingly, but I'm also saying it that like working with Tony, I was exhausted when we brought on La Barba. Exhausted. And like I'd go to shops and friends like were like, you look like you've been like beat to shit, like you're saying. But like when you came aboard, it was like, all right, I'm reinvigorated. Like, let's do this. Let's go round like 14, whatever we're at right now, you know, and let's keep going, because like, who doesn't want to work with their friends? Yeah. I mean, like you can't get better than that. Like we work in the cigar industry and I get to work with my friends and we're genuinely friends. Like brands aside, like Tony and I are extremely close, you know, like I would have his baby if he would allow me, but you know, like I could work that micro penis for you.
Thank you.
Listen, let's bring Zach on and let's do shot number 5. I don't have a cool little video for shot number 5, so I just want to see Gino again.
Shot number 4.
Laying there.
Yeah.
And Robbie doesn't drink, so that there's my dad.
Yeah. That was the only way I knew we'd ever get Gino on the show.
Hey, by the way, Brandon.
Yeah, boss.
I'm going to throw this out there. I read your poem that you posted like to the thing, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh,
no, I love poetry.
I was going to almost show that for my fresh shit.
Joe.
Oh, Joe's in. All right, we're gonna bring him in here with Zach. I got Zach in. I'm gonna back out and I'll bring Joe in with you guys. But Jeremy, I was gonna almost do that for fresh shit, and then I was like, you know what? That was published today, but I think I just gotta let this one ride. I'm not bringing it on the show.
But you know what? As one
bag.
one unpublished writer to a published writer, I very much enjoyed it.
All right, thank you, man. We'll talk about that in the post show because I want to ask you something about it. Are we
Okay.
going to bring on Joe Sharmer? Joe's
Yeah.
been listening to the show faithfully for like the last couple episodes. I've seen him in the comments. He's been asking good questions.
Every week.
Tony, every week. And Zach and Tony were kind of like, let's get him on here. So I'm going to back out and bring Joe Sharmer.
So Joe,
That was an
Joe
abrupt ending.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah,
Gentlemen,
So Joe is not only a faithful listener, but he also is from Colorado and has been a huge supporter of ours for many
Long time
years.
listener,
So-
first time caller.
yeah,
Correct.
Yeah.
And hey, my
Joe-
mic works. I'm just saying.
Joe, do you have a beverage next to you? Do you want to do a shot with us?
Oh, I do. So I couldn't get the damn thing to work on my phone. I was going to show you my bar and show you all the pappies and
Oh.
all the
Oh man, you're
really nice stuff.
You can show us when we get to Colorado. We'll be there.
Hey, anytime, man. The bar's always open.
It
Always
bums me
open.
out. We were supposed to be there, a couple weeks ago for Rocky Mountain, right? That was
Yep.
This
That's like
last
this
week,
week,
this last
right?
weekend.
And by the way, Zach, congratulations for getting audio.
I know.
I
Can you
know,
guys
it's a
believe
first.
it?
shows. Man.
So,
Hey,
Joe,
so-
tell
Yeah. So listen, guys. Right. I met Tony. I met you guys at Summit.
Yep.
And it was a great time. Rocky Mountain Scarfest was amazing. But look, here's the thing, right? And listening to Tony's comments about starting his business with $5,000, right? I mean, that's pretty stellar, right? Especially considering what you've grown from there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that I'm dealing with the work situation, and I've got new opportunities. And look, I mean, I've had a passion for cigars since I was 20, and that's 30 years ago, right? And in the 90s, right, when the internet was a thing, I opened up a cigar shop, right, an online cigar shop, when everybody had dial-up modems, right? And it was pretty cool. But listen, I mean, I think the question that I had for you guys is just, the world's a very different place today, and there's regulations and all the BS that's going on from that end. And look, I love cigars. I've had cigars were part of my life for a really large portion of it, and to me, it seems like, man, this is something that I want to do, right? This is cool stuff. This is one of those things where, people say to you, hey, you've got a passion for something and it'll never be a job, right? And, listening to you guys talk about how successful you guys have both been, with your brands and things like that. I mean, it's really inspiring, I guess, is the best thing to say. And for all those people listening in as well, right? This is cool stuff, right? You guys are doing some things that I really would like to be able to do. But the reality of it is look, I haven't been in the business, and I've just been a consumer. But I still think that, look, one of the things my wife and I have been talking about is trying to figure out what we're going to do in retirement. And, we're making soap, right? Man soap, right? And, we're putting like tobacco in the soap, right?
Are
Cool
you
stuff.
Tyler Durden? You have like a busted out house next to a factory somewhere.
Right. Hey, man, we don't talk about that stuff, right?
I mean, if you took one look at his bar, he doesn't live in a busted up house
Okay.
Yeah.
next to a
Yeah.
factory.
You have plumbing and electricity. That's good.
Yes. So again, look, I'm at a point in my life where, I've got to start making decisions about what I want to do, right? As a passion, I want to, I'm a big whiskey bourbon guy. And I think that the reality of it is, look, opening a bar isn't going to be, a good idea, right? Especially in Colorado and all the politics in play with trying to get a liquor license and things like that. And there's so few places that like high end bourbon and whiskey that it's tough. And so I'm just sitting here thinking, God damn, listening to Tony, what you said about starting your business, shit, I can do that, right? But
Yeah.
But the question is,
Let me chime in before you ask your question. As someone new to the business of cigars versus enjoying them as a consumer, the one thing I would say, and the important thing that I take from one of the best things, first off, is that I've broken into the industry, but at the end of the day, I've met now friends. Jeremy and Tony are my friends.
Right.
Everybody in the company, it's friends working with friends. That's the ethos, and I think it remains true. But the biggest thing I can tell you is that it depends on how you define success. If you define success by having trillions of dollars, I'm not going to lie to you, cigars probably aren't the best choice.
Right.
But, I make less than I used to, but I'm infinitely happier than I used to be in my past job, previous life, whatever you want to call it. And so really, at the end of the day, it's all about how you define that success. And if success is money, then yeah, you got to think about it different. If success is being able to burn money, as we do, and hang out with your friends, but break even and just have a good time and be able to live comfortably, then there's no reason, even with the politics and anything it would take, that you wouldn't want to open a cigar shop. But again, if you
that
need
is
X
the
dollars,
most profound thing Zach has said.
It helps that I have a microphone.
But
it does help that you can actually talk.
Normally you're just like, hi, I'm Zach. What are you up to? And today you like bust out some like sensei, mind stuff,
Every
which
now and
is
then.
yeah. And I agree too, Joe. If I was going to say the same thing, man, like I play music not because it makes me money, but because like I have to play it. It's in me, and I do the cigars because I love cigars. I love the people in the industry. I love the relationships that have, I used to be the only one of my friends that smoked cigars, and my entire circle and community of friends all smoke cigars, because some of them got replaced, not because they smoke cigars, but just because I gravitate towards people that are like-minded. And, it really is. It's like that girl that's like semi hot, but man, she knows what she's doing, and you just can't quit it. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, and that's kind of like the cigar industry, because it's like I could make more selling pharmaceuticals, way more. I could live a luxurious life. I could be selling and doing a lot of things in different industries.
And you can make more selling cocaine also.
Yeah,
well, there is that.
Right. But I wouldn't have the enjoyment.
We're all passionate about cocaine.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Wait, this is being recorded, right? So
yeah.
Well, we've passed our hour mark, and there's only 5 people.
Well, here, let me go get a bottle of Pappy's. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh, you, Joe, you.
Now he just wants to be that guy.
Yeah. Well,
Let's
let's wind down the episode. We'll get into a post show room so we can say whatever kind of crazy shit we want to say. I want to thank the Arizona Wilderness guys for taking a short break out of their hike. Well, they didn't even take a break, but a little moment out of their hike.
Let's have them back. We should just try to get them back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
let's try to get them back, not on a mountainside.
Yeah. I will chew him out for trying to be creative and cool and hiking.
No, it was actually fucking cool when he was like, it was like good quality and he was talking. I was like, shit, this is.
Yeah, for the 7 minutes. We'll get him back on. I agree. Oh, nice. Joe, we're going to close the show and then hang out.
Yeah, of course.
And you still have your question. So
yeah.
Everybody that wants to keep listening. We're going to close the show out live and go into the. Will wants to know if he can get into the post show. Can you send him the link? Zach, can you send Will the link for the post show?
Yeah, I'll probably have to pop out of this and pop back in. So
Okay.
because I'm on my phone today, and
If anybody else
the mic
wants,
works.
if anybody else wants post show, get a hold of Zach. He'll send you the link.
And then the other thing I have to say too is that everybody needs to remember that Jeremy's Coffee and Cigars is tomorrow. I'm sure he'll post on his Instagram the Zoom information, but you know, if you don't get into the post show, if you don't, you know, hop on here like tomorrow 9 a.m. Pacific, and you can come hang out. There may or may not be a screening of the Never Ending Story. I don't know.
And our producer's completely gone. I don't know what happened with that, so I guess I'm gonna have to do this. Also,
where do we find you?
wait, what?
Find me.
Where
You
do
can
we
find
find
me
you?
on Instagram. Me on Instagram at zharpold is my Instagram handle. So
And you can
please
find us.
follow, like, subscribe.
Yeah, follow Zach, like Zach. He does not have a micro penis, I can assure you of that. We've spent many of nights in Marriott's together.
We have some in the same
and
bed.
we have in Indianapolis. Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, so for Four Shots, look us up on Facebook, YouTube. I think what
You can listen on podcast
podcast,
form. As
yeah.
far tomorrow morning, it'll be live on iTunes, Spotify. So 4 Shots with Tony and Jeremy. And you can listen to the thing tomorrow if you feel like it. You got to drive. Why not?
Why not? So I'm gonna end the live broadcast.
What? Let's do a shot to go.
Okay, a shot to go. Here we go. This is shot. I mean, do you want me
Whatever.
to take a off or something for the little clip that Brandon made? Or
No, it's yes.
I don't
Show
think
us your
Joe's
proof.
going to do a shot. I think he's going to do a sip because
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yes.
that's
it's like $700. But
that would be funny.
It's like
No.
If he takes a shot of that, then we know. Just start a cigar business. Because go ahead, you've got the money.
oh, he did it.
Oh, dude, that's that.
I
My
told you
man.
he's one of the boys.
And with that, we will end our broadcast. And
Bye, all.
if anybody wants to get a hold of Zach, he'll send you the link. Good night, everybody.